It's time for your holiday. You're getting super excited, but then you get a little bit nervous. You start to think, what if I get in a situation where I don't know what to say? Basically, you don't know what to prepare for these real life moments. And that's what this video is all about. By the end of it, you're not just going to know some English words, but you're going to know some key phrases and what to expect in various travel situations. Some to listen for and some to speak so that you can be natural and confident when speaking English on your next holiday. All right, let's start where all wonderful overseas holidays begin, at the airport. Now, of course, in your country, at the airport, you will speak your own language. But at international airports, the most common language used is English. The good news is the process is the same at most airports. You check in for your flight, you go through security, and you find the gate for your flight. So let's get checked in for our flight. At the check-in desk, you'll most likely hear, "Passport, please." Simply hand over your passport. But of course, let's remember to be polite. Let's hand it over with, "Here you go." Sometimes they will also ask if you have a visa for the country you're visiting. Again, prepare your information, either print out the papers or have it on your phone, and present it with, "Here you go." That's it. You'll be checked in for your flight and you'll be told at which gate and what time you need to board. That's it. Next, we need to make our way through security. Again, at security, the process is usually very similar in every country. Actually, you don't need to speak much English at all. You just need to listen for any instructions. Most commonly, you'll hear, "Please take out your laptops." Or sometimes you might even hear, "Take off your belt and shoes," so that you can walk through security without sounding off the metal detectors. That's really it. Follow the lines, follow the crowd, and listen for the simple instructions. And then you need to find your gate. There should be many signs in airports, but airports are massive and they can be very confusing. If you do need help, you can simply find the service desk and ask, "Excuse me, where is gate 7? This is very polite, and as long as you're polite, anyone will be excited to help you. Once you do make your way to your gate, make sure you double check your flight number. For example, if my flight number is QF12, then I should be prepared to have this ready and listen for any announcements that reference QF12. If you get a little bit nervous, that's totally fine. At the gate, there's usually airline support staff. You can simply ask them, "Excuse me, is QF12 now boarding?" With that, you'll be able to get on your flight, relax, and look forward to your holiday. Once landing, your next step will be to go through immigration. Again, this should be very straightforward. Really, the only thing I recommend listening for, what's the purpose of your visit? You must answer this honestly, but if you're on holiday or vacation, simply answer just like that. "I am visiting for a holiday." That's honestly the most essential English you will need at any airport. Just make sure, have your boarding pass and passport ready, and make sure you listen for any announcements about your flight number, and don't forget to always be polite. To recap, these are the phrases you can have ready. "Here you go." "Here you go." "Excuse me, where is gate 7? "Excuse me, where is gate 7? "Excuse me, is QF12 now boarding?" "Excuse me, is QF12 now boarding?" "I am visiting for a holiday." "I am visiting for a holiday." Again, remember to have your information ready and be polite. Okay, you've made it through the airport, survived security, and landed safely. Now it's time to get to your hotel and unpack your bags. When you get to the hotel, of course, you need to check in as well. Much of this will be similar to checking in for your flight, but this time with your hotel information. Picture this, you walk up to the hotel reception desk, the staff smiles at you and welcomes you in. "Good evening, welcome to the Grandview Hotel." What next? All you need to say is, "I have a reservation under," your name. For example, I have a reservation under Mike. Now, again, the situation is similar to the airport. Most likely they will ask, can I see your passport? Which you can hand over with, here you go. Again, we need to be super polite. Also, sometimes the hotel staff might ask if you have a credit card, so make sure you have yours ready to go. Now, listen carefully. The hotel staff will double check your information, check you in and tell you your room number and the floor that your room is on. Your room is number 302 on the 3rd floor. This is a good chance to ask, could you tell me where the elevators are? Or in some countries they say lift instead of elevator, but it's the same thing. You can say either one and people will understand. Before you leave the desk, it's also a good chance to ask for any other requests that you might have. For example, maybe you need a toothbrush. It's easy enough to say, I want a toothbrush. But as you know now, this is too direct and we want to be polite to get the best service possible. Let's use, could I please have a toothbrush? Or maybe you also need internet. Could I please have the Wi-Fi password? When making requests, stick with could I please, and you will sound extremely polite and natural. To recap, for your hotel, remember these phrases. I have a reservation under. I have a reservation under. Could you tell me? Could you tell me? Could I please have? Could I please have? All right, with that, we're checked in. You've dropped off your bags. Maybe you took a shower, you freshened up, but you are hungry. Time to find some food. Ordering food in English is super simple. However, it's very easy to get nervous and confused because many menus have a lot of options of different food, and service staff can sometimes speak very quickly. But with just a few phrases and a little bonus tip that I have for you, you'll be able to go to any restaurant and speak confidently and politely. Now, you've found your restaurant, and when you walk in, the staff are going to ask you, how many people? Simple, just answer with how many people you have, but politely. 4 people, please. Usually they will help you find a seat and give you a menu. It's worth noting here that if you do go to a cafe or certain restaurants, they might ask you eat in or take away. If you're planning to sit at the restaurant, just say eat in. Take away means just that, to take away the food. Sometimes people say to go, it's the same thing, take away or to go. But today we've decided to eat in. So you've taken a seat, you're handed a menu, and this is where things can get a bit confusing. Even me as a native English speaker, a lot of the names of food are not even in English. They might be Italian or Spanish or Japanese. So my pro tip here, my one tip that I use in any country in English or in another language, is to simply look at the Google review of the restaurant that you are eating at and have a look at the photos that other people have posted. You can see what looks good and point to the dish that you want. But how do we ask for that? Whether it be off the menu or if you're using a photo using my bonus tip, you want to call over the waiter. Use excuse me to call over the waiter. Sometimes they will ask, are you ready to order? In which case you will respond with yes. Again, the easy thing here is to just say, I want chicken. But again, that's too direct and not polite. We want to be polite. Instead use, can I please get the chicken? Or even, I'll have the chicken. Both are acceptable. If you did use my tip and found a photo of the dish that you want, then you can simply show the waiter and say, can I please get this dish? After enjoying your delicious meal, it's time to pay. We need to pay for the dish. So again, call over the waiter using excuse me and then request, can I please get the bill? The word bill here is what we use in Australia, but some other countries like the United States will say check. Can I please get the check? Again, if you say either of them, most people will understand, so don't worry too much. You can either say, "Can I please get the bill?" or "Can I please get the check?" When paying, the last thing to listen for might only be cash or card. And you can simply answer with "cash please" or "by card please." To recap our dining experience, hold on to these phrases. 4 people please. 4 people please. Eat in please. Eat in please. Can I please get the chicken? Can I please get the chicken? Of course, don't forget to always be polite by saying "excuse me, please, and thanks." Alright, it's time to finally explore this new city. You leave the restaurant and you realize, wait, where am I? These days, you have a phone. I'm sure you know how to use Google Maps, and 99% of the time, this will be all you need to get around. However, sometimes when looking at a map, especially in a big city, it's not obvious exactly where you are. So despite our technological friend, it's always worth remembering just a few phrases in case you need to ask for help from someone. Another little bonus tip, if you are nervous about talking to random people on the streets, you can try ask the staff at the restaurant you just finished at, or maybe by visiting a convenience store. Again, as long as you are polite, people will be really willing to help you out. Now, there are many different ways to ask for directions. When you first started learning English, I'm sure you studied directions. In most English textbooks, it's one of the first things you learn. But to make it easy, I just want you to remember one thing. Excuse me, how do I get to location? For example, excuse me, how do I get to the museum? This is polite, natural, and straightforward. There's no need to complicate it more than that. To get to that location, maybe you were told to take a train or a bus. And again, Google Maps will usually tell you exactly which bus to catch and where, or which train and which station. But there are still times where it's confusing. The bus arrives. Is that the right bus? Or you're at the train station and there's 10 different platforms. Which platform does the train come to? I always recommend to confirm if you are about to get on the correct transport. Otherwise, you might end up in the wrong city. All you need for this is, excuse me, does this bus go to the museum? Or, excuse me, does this train go to the city center? Hopefully you will get a yes. And if you do, make sure to say thank you. But if you are told no, don't panic. Just get off the bus or the train if you are already on it and ask the staff or someone else, excuse me, which bus or train goes to the location? For example, excuse me, which bus goes to the museum? To recap, of course, have your Google Maps ready. That is your best friend when traveling. But memorize these phrases and you'll be able to travel with no issues at all. Firstly, don't forget to always be polite. Excuse me. Excuse me. How do I get to the museum? How do I get to the museum? Does this bus go to the museum? Does this bus go to the museum? Which bus goes to the museum? Which bus goes to the museum? And that's it. The essential English phrases you need for your next trip. Of course, there will always be situations you cannot plan for, but that's the fun of traveling. In every situation, you will learn something new. Your English will grow with every experience. So use these English phrases to sound confident, handle tricky moments, and of course, don't forget to say excuse me, please, and thanks to sound polite in every situation. Now, I want to know, where are you traveling next? Let me know by leaving a comment. After that, go pack your suitcase, like the video, and as always, don't forget to subscribe for more English conversation examples.